Here bringing you a very special video. Today I thought I would take a few minutes and give you my honest review of the Pokeball Plus controller. So I picked this up in the bundle with the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee game, and I really wanted it because it sounded really interesting and really fun, and I thought it would be great to let you guys know, is this worth it? Is this worth your money? Is this worth your time to go out, buy, and get? Because it is kind of an expensive accessory for a single game on the Nintendo Switch. So first, what I thought I'd do is highlight the things that I love about the Pokeball Plus controller. So the first thing I think is just the overall design of this product. It's impeccably well made. The feel of it in your hand is really great. It's pretty easy to use. I mean, it's obviously designed for children, not man children like me. So it's a little bit small if you have big hands like I do. But it's still very comfortable, very easy to use, very intuitive. I can hold it pretty easily, and I can control it pretty easily. So hopefully I can get a good close up of that on the camera. Right, so you can see that it uses USB-C, which is really nice. It's got the wristband and the ring and all that on it, so it's just really well made, very well thought out. In terms of the actual gameplay with Pokemon Let's Go, it's just a ton of fun to play it with the Pokeball controller. It's extremely nostalgic. It really is immersive. It makes it really fun to catch Pokemon, because you're actually throwing the Pokeball. You can see it light up and vibrate, and it plays a little sound. A little Pokemon noise comes out of the ball. It's just, it seems silly. It seems like just kind of a novelty thing. And you know what? It is silly, but it's just really fun as well. So I've just really enjoyed that part of it. It's definitely not necessary in order to play the game and experience the game and love the game. But it does just take it to that next level. It makes that part a lot of fun. Another kind of feature add-on for the Pokemon Let's Go game with the Pokeball Plus is you can actually take your Pokemon for a walk. So with that, you go into the settings menu of the Pokemon Let's Go game, you take a Pokemon for a walk, which essentially means you put the Pokemon in your Pokeball Plus, and then you can go out into the real world and you gain experience with that Pokemon as you walk around. As you interact with it. I've got my Arcanine in here right now, so if I hold this down, I'll show you. See, it lights up, and then you can spin this thing. Yeah, I think you can hear little Arcanine noises. But yeah, you can play with it kind of throughout the day. It's a lot of fun to do. You can shake it up as well. Like, you can put it on the ground and like shake it like this. Do all kinds of like fun little things with it to interact with your Pokemon. And the more you do that, the more experience that they gain. So it's actually a really great way to level up your Pokemon, especially if you have one that's way behind the rest of your party because of the whole experience share thing. This can catch them up really quickly. Almost a little too quickly. It's almost a little too easy to get experience using this. But it's a feature you completely cannot access without the Pokeball Plus controller. So, you know, I have mixed feelings about that, but that is a value add of having it for sure. Another plus for the Pokeball Plus controller is if you are a Pokemon Go player, this can connect with the Pokemon Go, and it can automatically detect and spin Pokestops, and it can automatically detect and catch Pokemon. Now, those catches of those Pokemon are not guaranteed catches, so I've been playing with this for quite a while. It's actually really effective if you're using it while driving. You can connect your Pokeball Plus to the game. You can keep this kind of in one hand to the side while you're still hands on the steering wheel, and whenever it detects something, the ring will light up. It'll light up green if it's a Pokemon is detected that you've already caught. You click it once on the top and it tries to catch it. If you have Pokeballs, it'll throw just a regular Pokeball. If you run out of those, it won't do anything. But in my experience, there's like a 50-50 shot you actually catch it. But if you catch it, it lights up a bunch of rainbows. If you don't catch it, it does like a ring of death. It can also light up yellow. If it lights up yellow, that's a Pokemon you have not encountered before. Now, a good point about this is if you are stationary, like at a park or in an office, or you're sitting down, you're not moving in a car or anything, you can actually choose to open the app and catch it the normal way, because it will automatically detect and tell you that there's something to go do, or you can just hit the button. It can attempt to automatically catch it. Yeah, but yellow is a Pokemon you have not caught yet. So you might if you definitely want that Pokemon to complete your Pokedex, you might consider opening the app and catching it that way. I normally just go for it and let the Pokeball try to do things. I primarily use it when I'm driving, or if I'm like shopping or something like that. It's actually when you're not playing with your Pokemon, it doesn't make any noise. So if it's connected with Pokemon Go, it doesn't make any noise, which is kind of nice. So you can use it in like a shop or while you're driving or whatever, and it's actually pretty effective. It's not a big distraction, it's just kind of subtle and in the background, so it works pretty well that way. The other thing it does is if it lights up blue, that means you're at a Pokestop. You just click it once and then you get everything, all of the free items from that Pokestop. So that actually works really, really well. I like that part a lot. And I think finally, it comes with a Mew. So if you're nostalgic like me and you love Mew, then that's amazing. I got Mew in my Let's Play series that we're doing because of the Pokeball Plus. There's really not another way to get Mew unless you convince somebody else to trade you a Mew. However you do that. But yeah, I really like the concept of having Mew, and that's a big bonus for the Pokeball. In summary, it's a really, really well-made device. I know it seems hokey, and it is hokey, but it is a lot of fun. It is a great experience to actually use it. It does give you added capabilities in the game, and be able to go and take your Pokemon for a walk. That's an activity you can't do without the ball. It can also be used in the Pokemon Go game, which gives you some added capabilities on the Pokemon Go game. And it also gives you a Mew, an exclusive Pokemon in the game. Now let's move on to the things that I don't like so much about the Pokeball controller. The first, and I think the most obvious, is it is a bit expensive for what it is. It's 50 USD, which means it's as much as a Joy-Con, but it can only be used for Pokemon Let's Go. If we're being like really honest, it's a Joy-Con for one game. Now it does have the special like in-game DLC, the Mew. It has the ability to integrate with Pokemon Go, so it does have, it does do things that a Joy-Con can't do. But it just feels a little bit expensive for what you're actually getting relative to what else is on the market. Another thing is when you're playing the game, it is ridiculously difficult to type on the keyboard with this thing, especially if you're like me and you have big man hands. Like it's this tiny little joystick, and it's really finicky, and it's just a really unpleasant experience when you're trying to type. So if you can avoid that, I suggest avoiding it. Also, because it's a ball shape, I think a ball shape is not the most intuitive experience for a game controller. I get it needs to be a ball for the Pokeball, but what often happens for me is I end up like spinning it a little bit as I'm doing things. So I'll end up holding it like this, or end up holding it like this, or like this, or like this. And it's really designed to be held like this, right? This is the top, this is the bottom. It when you're catching, it kind of sinks itself, but when you need to use the joystick, this is the universal up. There's no relative position of the joystick. So if you're not holding it like this and you try to move, then it gets all wonky. So it's not the most intuitive shape for it. You just have to like be very mindful of how you're holding it. And I'm like, if you look at my Let's Play, like I'm constantly looking at my hand to adjust it for that reason. I don't know if this is exclusive to me or if this is really a major issue, but I don't feel like I am being totally honest if I don't mention it. Twice since I've had this, it has become kind of completely unresponsive. It doesn't light up, it doesn't make any noise, it won't connect to anything. It's like it's completely dead. I know it's not a battery issue, because one of the times that it did this, it was right after coming off the charger, like 20 minutes after coming off the charger. And about an hour later, it just comes back and acts completely normally. So that's happened to me twice. I have no idea why. I haven't seen any other reports of it online. It hasn't been a permanent issue. I felt like I have to mention it just because it's happened twice. If it was just once, I would just be like, okay, it's a hiccup, but it's happened twice and I don't really know why, and I don't really know what to do about it. And I think the last thing that it's not really a problem, it just really annoys me, is that they didn't program in-game instructions for Pokemon Let's Go for this controller. Like, they specifically put out this overpriced piece of hardware for this game specifically and made bundles for it and all that, and they don't change the in-game instructions for the Pokeball controller. All of the instructions are for a Joy-Con, so they shows the plus button, the Y button, the X button. Like, none of those exist on this thing. So if you're playing with this thing, you do not get instructions for using this thing in the game. So you really have to remember what all these are. There's move, there's select, there's back, and then there's anything else is shaking it. Like, those are the 4 things you can do, and there's more than 4 buttons on Joy-Con. So the mapping isn't always one for one. It would be very helpful if there were in-game instructions for how to do things at each screen. It's just a big annoyance for me. It just feels a little bit lazy that they put all of this effort into making this device. They put all of this kind of artificial paywall around features and the Mew DLC and all that for this device, and they didn't take the time to make the device really easy to use in the game. More of a peeve than an actual problem, but it just really annoyed me. I didn't think that was good. So finally, the answer to the question, should you buy the Pokeball Plus? And my answer is, if you want it, buy it. I don't think if you are a Pokemon fan, if you're somebody who's going to spend a lot of time in the series, I do not think that you'll regret buying this. It is a fantastic controller. It's really well made. It's a really fun experience, and it does give you extra features. So if you're a big time fan or a nostalgia boy like me, and you've got the $50, you're okay with the economics around spending $50 on this, then go ahead and do it. You won't regret it. If you're on the fence, if you're not as big of a fan, if you'd rather have an extra Joy-Con, just really carefully consider your options before doing it. If you're really into the Pokemon game, I say go ahead and do it. I think you'll enjoy it. If you're not so much, then you're probably not going to get as much value out of it, so maybe consider just picking up an extra Joy-Con. Yep, so that's my recommendation. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and found this helpful. Comment down below with any other feedback that you've got about this controller. Don't forget to subscribe to show your support for the channel. Join our Discord if you would like to connect with the community. And until next time, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!